Jenny, good morning. How are we doing?
So I am a mom of 3 little ones, and it gets pretty chaotic in my house, and I constantly find myself responding to my kids in anger. So I really need help figuring out how to change that, because I know that my anger is damaging my relationships with my kids.
How old are they?
I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Woo! So you're in the thick of it, huh?
Yes.
Tell me about your 5-year-old.
Well, she is, she's in kindergarten, and she's very quiet and barely says a word outside our home.
Okay.
And so she's always like on her best behavior at school. So when she comes home, she just kind of lets it all out. And,
There you go. And so what about your middle child?
So he actually is typically the happy one, but lately he's just kind of been really fussy and just kind of cries about everything.
And what about your
I'm
1-year-old?
not really sure where that's coming from.
What about your 1-year-old?
So he's probably the most challenging of all of them. He's extremely clingy. He's never really been a content baby, and he's only happy when I'm holding him or feeding him or playing with him, and so I can't get anything done, and I can't get any quality time with my older kids.
Gotcha. So, what about Dad? Is he present?
Yes, very much.
Good guy?
Yes.
When I say present, what does that mean to you?
Well, he is. He's very supportive. I mean, he is always there. He helps me whenever I need help. So, I mean, he just, has to work during the day, and so I'm just ready for him to be done with work by the end of the day.
Right.
And yeah.
So, number one, I want you to hear me say loud and clear, you're not crazy and you're not nuts. Okay?
Okay.
Do you trust me?
Yes.
Okay. You have 3 humans under the age of 5. I'm about to have a 5-year-old too. And whoa. And you've got 2 underneath that. So you are not nuts. Everything in your house is crazy. Everything feels out of place. And everything feels like you are just reactive. Is that right?
Yes.
And so then you respond in anger. I want you to think of anger as a gift. Okay? Anger just points you towards something that you care about. It just points you towards something that matters to you, that's important to you. And so when you say you respond in anger, what does that mean?
Well, I get really impatient and irritated and annoyed, and so I'm really short with them. So I guess it's just a harsh tone of voice towards them.
So when you find yourself impatient, what do you want the other situation to be? And what I mean by that is you must have a picture in your head of a clean kitchen or a perfectly ordered children standing in a row waiting to ask you what they can do to help you with your day. Or you want to finally take a shower, or you want your body to finally be yours and not having people clamoring. You don't want to feel like a garage anymore, right? Where people are just using you as a space that they're claiming as their own, right? All those, and you get short and frustrated. What is the picture in your head? What do you want on the other side of that?
I guess I just expect them to not do the things they know they shouldn't do, the same things that happen every day. I just feel like it just repeats itself over and over again, and so I guess that's just frustrating to me.
For sure. And
I'm not really sure.
I want you to feel totally at peace with the frustration. It's normal. Here's a couple of things you can do and begin to work through, okay? So you can't control the fact that a 5-year-old's a 5-year-old. That they think things are funny or scary or loud, right? You can give them firm boundaries. This morning, my daughter was screaming, and I don't mean screaming. I mean like heavy metal singer screaming at my son for something. I thought he had pulled a hatchet out, and this was it. And I went up to see what was going on, and it was something that was so minor and benign. And I just sat down and said, you cannot talk to my son like that. You can't talk to your brother like that, right? And so there's certain boundaries, right? There's certain things you can't do. And there's certain things that are just developmental, that are just 3-year-olds and 1-year-olds. And so the only thing in that equation you can control is you, right? Mm-hmm. And if you wait until you're frustrated or exhausted or somebody's been hanging on you all day, if you wait until your 3 o'clock plan doesn't work out because one kid took a nap too long or one was too short or your husband had to stay at work late, if you wait until those moments, then that's like the fire's already out of the barn, right? It's already burning down your pasture. It's too late. And so what I want to challenge you to do is this. Number 1, be really graceful with yourself. Often I find moms of 1 kid, much less 3, the person you stop taking care of is you. The person you stop asking, what do I need right now, is you. And I know that sounds like a privileged statement because some moms would love to do things for themselves. I don't freaking have time. I've got to go work 2 jobs. I've got to fill in the blank. But I want you to start being kind to yourself and start asking yourself, what do you need? How is putting on your oxygen mask today going to help? And occasionally that means asking your husband, I need you to help me in this way because I've got to go work out. I've got to go for a walk. I've got to shower alone for the first time in however long. And I need you to adjust your work schedule. Or I need to call a friend over a few days a week just to sit with my kids for an hour while I just act like a human for a minute. Or fill in the blank. And of course, all this is messier because of Corona. I get all that. But I want you to start thinking through, number 1, what are the things that you need? Not what are the things that I have to do. And in my house, we've had some hard conversations because my wife has a picture of a kitchen that's always clean. Always 24/7. Like, I will not do anything after this until that's done. And she realized, but I need to do this too. I need some quiet time. I need some writing time. I need some exercise time. I need some fill in the blank time. So I want you to put the pictures of the way you're trying to keep things together right now that's making you frustrated because you can't make those pictures a reality because you got 3 miniature humans running around. I want you to put those down and say, what do I need? Number 2, I want you to get with your husband and actually come up with a tried and true plan. What is a plan for a week going to look like as opposed to reaction? You can't control reactive 5, 3, and 1-year-olds. They just have shorter naps sometimes. They just don't take a nap at all sometimes. They just have rocket explosive diarrhea sometimes. They just fill in the blank. You can come up with a schedule and a plan, and that means you and your husband are going to sit down and you're going to plan the week. You're going to put it on a note card. You're going to put it in a calendar. You're going to put it in some sort of semblance of. And that might mean meal planning. That might mean saying on Monday, hey, husband, I need you to pick up dinner these 2 nights, or you're going to come home and cook. But plan these things ahead of time, and it makes so much less reaction. And then hold those plans really loosely. Let him know, hey, at 4 o'clock, I may call you and say, you're doing dinner tonight. And he's going to have to roll with it because you got 3 miniature humans. You may call and say, we are going out tonight because I got 3 miniature humans and I can't take another second of this. You may have to call a neighbor and say, hey, so-and-so's still sleeping and I don't want to wake him up, but I've got to go pick up such and such, and you've got to come up with a team. But all that starts with the plan. And then the third thing is promise yourself. We could get into this deeper, and we're not going to on this show. Your anger reaction is probably something you watched and experienced. Promise yourself that you will not pass that on to your kids. Promise yourself, Jenny, you're not going to yell at your kids. You're going to come up with different alternative ways to help them learn. Different alternative ways. You're not going to pass that on to them so that when they're around their kids and friends and family, that's going to be their only response mechanism too. And that means you're going to have to learn, whether it's with a counselor, whether it's in a agreement with your husband, whether it's reading the right book, you're going to have to learn and practice non-reactive ways of responding to your kids. And that is hard. And it's lifelong. It's lifelong. And then one final thought, your 1-year-old's going to live. Your 1-year-old's going to live. They need to learn some boundaries, and that's hard. Your other kids need your full attention, eye contact, connection. And so there may be times when you have to alternate nap times. You have to alternate play times. You've got to do some creative scheduling there that's going to make you exhausted, but that each kid is going to get their connected time with you. And it's going to feel awkward, but you're investing time in the middle of the day that's going to pay off at the end of the day because you're not going to have fried, disconnected kids there. So that's a few thoughts, few ideas. I hope people will respond in the YouTube comments with things that have worked for them, right? Feel free to send me some emails and I will circle back. Folks, if you've got things that work for you, the one glaring thing here is I'm not a mom of 3 tiny little kids. I've just sat and talked with them and met with them over the years. And it starts with grace, it starts with planning, and it starts with a commitment to not be reactive.